Okay, so this question basically asks about consumer surplus. And for consumer surplus, let's draw a graph here. The demand curve of the demand curve of the consumer should be downward sloping. This is the demand curve, and we have a specific market price P star here. Okay, so the consumer surplus basically measures the price the consumer is willing to accept and the price the consumer actually pays. So basically, is this upper triangle here, right? So the first thing you need to know is there will never be negative consumer surplus. Consumer surplus can never be negative. So think about what if the consumer surplus is negative? It means that the price the price the consumer actually pays is much higher compared with the price the consumer is willing to pay. So if the consumer doesn't want to make that high payment, why there's need for him to buy the good, right? So there will be never negative consumer surplus. So for this specific question, let's draw a graph here. We also have a demand curve, and let's think about originally. Originally, the price of this market would be probably, let's use this way, it's $13 2 hours. That's the price, right? And in this question, we don't really know what is the willingness of the payment of this Annie. So basically, we know that as long as Annie made the payment for the trip, basically she accepts, say that original consumer surplus should be a positive number or at least a non-negative number, right? And afterward, because of this kind of New Year trip, so the price increased to $47 per 2 hour. And because of the price increase, we know that the amount of quantity, basically the equivalent quantity also decreased. Originally, probably we have like Q star here, but because of the price increase, the total quantity that is demanded decreased to Q prime here. Okay, and we also know that even if at this high price, $47 per 2 hour, Annie still made the payment and took the trip. So what do you mean? It means that she's willing to accept this kind of trip. So at least her consumer surplus is a non-negative number. So basically, there's never negative consumer surplus. If there's negative consumer surplus, the consumer simply stop the consumption and make the consumer surplus equal 0.